Hey guys, it's Will from Tested.
And it's Norm from Tested.
Norm, Chromecast is out. It's been out for a few weeks now.
Oh yes.
We've both tested it out.
And we've had mixed results and feelings about this little dongle.
So let me give
I think the only thing we agree on is that it's a dongle.
It costs $35.
Well, depends.
It costs $35.
It depends, because you can also buy from Amazon.
It costs $35 there.
It's sometimes no tax for some people.
Okay.
You buy from Google Play, $35 plus tax. Or if you bought it early,
yeah,
$35 plus 2 months free Netflix, making this maybe $12 to $15.
I got it early.
But
I didn't get 2 months of free Netflix. And we ordered about 5 minutes apart, if I recall correctly.
I got 2 months free Netflix. This to me was $15.
Mr. Frenchman.
So,
okay.
It's a dongle.
So what does it do? It streams video from computers and tablets to your TV. It plugs into an HDMI port and a USB port or a brick, as the case may be.
So this is kind of Google's alternative to Apple TV.
It's basically just AirPlay. It's not Apple TV even. It's just the AirPlay functionality of the Apple TV.
And Google wants you to use this to buy stuff or watch YouTube videos and buy stuff on Google Play, music, movies, just like you would buy on Apple TV stuff over iTunes.
They're going after Microsoft's quest to get the second screen, which in the old days was the TV and not a tablet or a phone or something.
They want this.
Yeah.
They want
one of your TV's precious HDMI ports.
Very, very precious HDMI ports.
So let's just walk through the whole setup process, and we'll talk about that, because it's kind of a novel setup, I thought.
I have a little monitor right here. So imagine, if you will, that this is a big 72-inch TV, 73-inch TV.
Okay, that's a 7-inch TV, Norm.
73-inch TV. I'm going to plug Chromecast on an HDMI port on the side. Or you can plug it into your receiver if you want. It does come with a really tiny HDMI extension cable.
That's because it's a little fat for an HDMI port.
That's because right around the HDMI port, this is a little too big for some receivers, some HDMI ports. So
and my TV, I couldn't have plugged it. It would have blocked the ports on either side.
So if you look at the extension cable, it's actually a smaller little gasket around the HDMI port. I'm gonna use the extension cable. Let's just use the extension cable.
It's in the box. Why not?
Why not? Otherwise, it's gonna go in a drawer and never use it.
20 years, you're gonna be like, oh, I remember HDMI cables. I should throw this out.
So I plug it in. Theoretically, it should power on.
Nope. You got to plug in the USB port cable.
Nope. Now, even though this is HDMI 1.4, it actually will not drive power from HDMI 1.4, even though it's supported by the spec.
It needs more power than HDMI 1.4 gives.
So at the end here, there is a micro USB port. And it comes with a micro USB cable and a wall wart. So I'm going to plug this in. You can, although it does require power, you can actually take power from the USB port of your TV.
Yeah, which is great, because I've never used the USB port on my TV.
Never, ever.
And now I'm never going to.
Never know you need to. I just plug this in, kind of bundle up the cables, and have it tucked away in the back. Okay,
so now you fire up the on-screen display on the device, and you put in keyboard and mouse, using the keyboard and mouse, your Wi-Fi password and username, right?
You have to log into a website. So the way it's all set up now, I'm not going to reset it up. But there's Wi-Fi in here, 802.11n, 2.4 gigahertz only. Not 5 gigahertz connection. You log onto a website. It will, on your laptop.
But you connect to its Wi-Fi access point first, right?
It will look for Wi-Fi access points, and it'll connect from computer to Chromecast. And there you have a web page, and you'll type in your local access point.
Did you have access point? Did your Chromecast have a name that included, like mine was Chromecast 5122?
It has some identifiers, and you can rename it. You can rename it to anything you want.
Well, what did you name yours?
Chromecast 3166.
Is that what it started out as?
Yes.
It's very imaginative.
Didn't need to change it at all. Once you've paired that, then Chromecast can see your Wi-Fi network. It needs passwords. It's logged in. So we're all set up right now. You can see on our Chromecast, it's connected to our
Don't tell people our Wi-Fi. They'll know where we live.
And we have maximum bars of connectivity, which is great.
The access point's just over there. I can see it. It's like 8 feet away.
Yeah, 15 feet away, no problem. So here's what you can do with the Chromecast. I'm going to demo this first with the tablet.
That's a Nexus 7, it looks like.
It makes more sense.
It's very shiny.
What you can do, and conveniently I have YouTube popped up here, is that you can send YouTube videos from your tablet to the Chromecast. So
that's the kind of thing I would like to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you don't even have to do it from the YouTube website, although you can. So I'm in the YouTube app right now. And I'm just going to load up, for example, this video. And while I would normally watch the video within the YouTube player, and it's even loading the ad up right now. There's an icon on the top here. It's the Chromecast icon. and I can tap that, and it'll see YouTube TV has the name of our Chromecast on the bottom.
Chromecast 1366.
3166.
3166.
I'm going to tap that, and it'll say connecting, and it'll load up the YouTube graphic, which means it's sending a signal. And right now, the YouTube player on the tablet, which I can actually put into landscape position, will be the thumbnail of that video.
Oh, perfect.
So it's not going to play it on 2 places at once, and the video is now playing on our Chromecast.
So the way this works, instead of the tablet's just telling the Chromecast, hey, go get this video, and now the tablet's job is done. You can switch out and do something else, right?
No active data being sent from the tablet here to the Chromecast.
Aside from the first thing that said, here's the URL
Aside from
for
the
this
URL
video.
and the timestamp and the volume. What I can do, though, is I can scrub. So now it's sending signals to send a new
Had to
location.
rebuffer, but I mean, that's pretty good.
So you have all your controls there, and you have all the metadata from that YouTube video. I'm going to let this play for a second.
Did you find yourself walking up and trying to touch the screen where the touch interface usually is on the TV?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't
You're
go
not that
touch
close.
the TV.
Okay.
But I can go back, and I can browse other videos now, and I can do other things on the tablet.
Can you leave the YouTube app entirely?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So I can go back into Chrome, and in the top left-hand corner, if I scroll down to notifications, it'll actually tell me that I'm still playing that video.
Oh. And you have controls for it as well.
And
you
I
can
can
pause it or whatever.
From notifications. I can play. And you know what? I can even turn the device off. It'll still keep on playing. It's going to sit on my coffee table. If I want to change it, pop it up. And in the lock screen, I have some control as well.
Just a pause and play, it looks like.
Pause and play, bring it back, and I can do whatever I want, web browse, or go back on YouTube. Now here's the cool thing about the Chromecast.
So, well, hold on. We're shooting a little tiny screen, so people can't really see what the video quality is like here. What's the video quality like when you're streaming YouTube?
It will take down the highest resolution that YouTube will send.
So if YouTube is sending, it's not going to do 4K.
It'll do 1080.
Okay, it'll do 1080p if you have YouTube.
Yeah. If you have YouTube, this will totally take in 1080p, and of course it'll evaluate the signal strength of your Chromecast. Where I was using it, where the signal might not have been best, it was taking the 720p or sometimes even the 480p.
Yeah, your living room is a Wi-Fi death zone.
I think that the Chromecast, what it didn't do so well, and it's tough to simulate here because we have a good signal, is adjusting for buffer versus bitrate.
Okay.
Because you can't manually say, I know I have not great signal, always play at 480p.
Well, and that's one of the things that, if you're looking at this as a competitor to the Apple TV, it's one of those things that Apple has done really well from even like in the old QuickTime for PC and Mac days, where they were really good at calculating how much buffer they needed to have before it would let you start playing a video in the first place.
As opposed to saying, play at the lowest resolution, play at 360p, I just want a consistent experience, it would try to go for 480, try to go for 720, and then give me buffering.
You can't manually specify which bitrate you want.
Not for the YouTube streaming.
Is that a limit? Is that a limitation of what happens if you do it from a PC? Because I can't specify there.
In PC, you can.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the coolest thing though about the Chromecast, and I'll just load another video here.
Is this another YouTube video?
So there's another YouTube video, and I can press play, and what it'll do is it's added it to a queue.
Wow.
So I'm going to go back and actually do it a couple more times.
Is this like your YouTube watch later queue?
Watch later queue. I'm just pressing play, and if you go, actually, I have to actually manually say I'm gonna not show other videos.
Does this work if you're on YouTube.com as well as the app?
This actually does work on YouTube.com as well. You have this thing called the TV queue, and if you're browsing YouTube, you can actually in the player say add a TV queue, and you'll fill up this whole list of videos that'll just play in sequence.
So you can be a YouTube DJ.
You can absolutely be your YouTube DJ. What it'll also do is play ads.
Okay, that's convenient.
Yes. So
imagine that.
I'll show you what you asked is if I go to YouTube.com, in the embedded player on YouTube.com, it'll actually also let you send a Chromecast from there. So I'm just going to pick a random video, some news. When the video is done playing, if you're at the end of your queue, it'll just show you the last thing played.
And here's
maybe not here.
So do content providers have to opt into this, or does it just work automatically?
They absolutely have to opt in. So they have to provide support. And there are very few places that provide support right now.
So right now it's YouTube and Netflix and Google Play Store, and that's pretty much it, right?
So I'll load up Netflix and show you the Netflix experience real quick. It's basically the same as that YouTube experience. Gives me the icon. I was watching Star Trek.
Oh.
Next Generation.
Which episode?
Oh, and I can't find my Netflix. Netflix isn't working right now, but there is a Chromecast button right at the top, and if you click that, you could send whatever is being played on Netflix, maybe even Thor. We'll try loading that on the Chromecast. There it goes. Again, nothing's being sent directly from this tablet to the Chromecast. It's just telling the Chromecast where the address is, giving authentication.
So you're not doing an up-down, any of that business. You're not downloading something to the tablet and then uploading it across the same Wi-Fi network to the TV, which seems like a good thing. Like this seems like a good idea to me.
Yes, the places where there are cases where you actually send video signals from your device to the TV, and that consumes more power, obviously, on your mobile
phone,
device. Here on my phone, I actually have a Google Play movie.
Transformers. Have you bought any movies from Google Play ever?
No, this is free.
Okay.
Transformers was free when you bought last year's X7.
I remember. So you could say you paid $230 for that copy.
$200. In Google Play Movies, there is that Chromecast button again.
Okay.
And I can send from Chromecast. And now, at this point, it is actually going to try to send a signal from my device here, if I can get this to work. And there it goes. It'll load the Google Play Movies icon. Theoretically, there it goes. That's the Google Play Movies. It takes about 10 seconds on average for everything to sync up. And it has all the metadata again. And playback. See, it's still taking a while.
This isn't a thing I experienced in my living room.
And there it goes.
Where I have good Wi-Fi, and when I wasn't jamming 10 videos at a time over to it. Like, it seems like it works better if there's a queue. And again, the video quality here is pretty good.
Scrub. The video quality is excellent. Even on the small screen, you can tell there's
a little bit of buffering. It looks like.
Yeah, if you're scrubbing, you're going to get the buffering. So it works on YouTube. Works on Google Play Movies and Music.
Yeah.
We're not going to show too much.
Please don't show much more of this movie. It's
and it also works in Netflix, but doesn't work in other popular apps, like, for example, Hulu Plus, HBO Go, even web apps like Vimeo, Pandora. All these companies have.
Well, our videos work because we have YouTube, but.
So like on iOS, for example, support will come in the future.
It's hard for me to test all this stuff because I'm using the iOS 7 beta, and the YouTube app just flat out doesn't work on that.
There's a button that says you can Chromecast.
In Netflix, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So it could be iOS 7 problems. It could be just stuff not working quite right yet. Theoretically, that support will come.
This isn't like AirPlay in the sense that on AirPlay, you can send everything from your iPad to TV. There's mirroring, straight up mirroring.
Well, there's some limits to that. If you are streaming stuff that the content provider doesn't allow, even if you use mirroring, it just blocks out the video.
But there's none of that for Chromecast right now.
Okay.
That theoretically will be supported by apps. For example, there's this app in development right now called Aircast. Now I can launch this Aircast, and it'll run in the background. And what it'll let me do is actually send stuff from my photo gallery, from Dropbox, or even Google Drive.
Is this from the people who do the third-party AirPlay app on iOS?
I think it's an independent developer.
Okay.
So for example, if I'm in, and this is theoretically how Google Chromecast will work in the future when these apps are really supported.
Is this like Google TV apps? Are they the same thing?
So actually, I can send now. I'm in Gallery. I'm not in YouTube or Netflix. And it'll search for Chromecast. It'll find my Chromecast. And it'll play a video I shot just a few minutes ago from the gallery on the TV.
Oh, so this gives you a way to stream content that you've shot and photos you've shot, and theoretically something that you've ripped from a DVD and put on your device over to the Chromecast.
Yeah, this is good.
All this seems good so far.
But again, those apps like this Aircast app, not really supported yet.
Well, but I mean, support will come.
Well,
it's just like
that's a promise.
Just like Google TV, Norm.
Sounds like an awfully big promise to me.
Like
I'm going to demo also quickly Dropbox, which I think is probably one of the best ways we're going to use Chromecast.
Okay.
So this is a video we shot last year. I can send to Aircast in Dropbox, and then
this looks pretty awesome.
And then I can press play, and theoretically, it's going to look for the Chromecast and send over there. This app is still in development, not supposed to be out yet.
It's only going to work with the codecs that the device supports, I assume.
And it's not even working. It's playing the wrong video.
The old video again. one of the things I noticed about it is that it takes a fairly, like it doesn't maintain that relationship between the device and the Chromecast. It seems like there's always a fair amount of time to set stuff up whenever you send video over.
Absolutely.
Have we talked about tab casting yet?
No. So this is the thing that is another get around for getting around the
an end around
for the limitations of Chromecast right now.
Okay.
Oh, there, and finally, there goes the video being pushed from
ever so
from
slowly.
Dropbox.
I can't tell if that's high speed or
no. It's both high
hitching?
speed and hitching
at
the same time.
That's not what that was a good time to hitch. That pudding really flew. Okay.
So not so great.
Tab casting
on the desktop, meaning on a desktop operating system, using the full version of Chrome, you can send anything from a tab onto Chromecast.
Mac, PC, theoretically Linux, I assume.
As long as it's running the Chrome operating system with the right extension.
But not, for example, the version of Chrome that runs on your
desktop
iPad.
version of Chrome.
Yeah.
So in my browser right now, on my Mac, in the top left-hand corner of Chrome, let's see if you can see this, there's an icon right here that's a Chromecast icon.
Yeah, and that's an extension you installed.
Yep. And if I hit that, it'll say cast this tab. It's still in beta. Cast this to the Chromecast. And there are options. I'll show you the options in just a second. I can cast a tab with audio also. So all the audio comes from this tab. And now it's on the Chromecast. There was an options menu. The extension options let you change auto resizing of the browser, let you change your projection quality, so you can go from 480p all the way to high bitrate.
Are you in extreme? Did you go with extreme? I went with extreme.
Extreme. And what you notice then also is now that I'm in any other tab, for example, I can be browsing a different website, like the New York Times, but the tab that's in the background that I had synced, streamed, is still showing up there.
It's just frozen.
Because I'm not doing anything. So I can actually do something like play a video in the back, and it'll play the video. You can see there's a little bit of a delay.
Yep.
And I can go browse another website, and the video will still be playing in the back.
It's kind of chunky though.
Now,
so
this is how people are getting around Vimeo not supporting Chromecast. For example,
this was not a good experience for me.
If you're on something like Vimeo, you can actually start casting this tab, and then you could play a movie.
Yep. And you can go full screen.
And then you can go full screen, and ta-da!
In theory,
once it goes full screen, there goes.
I think you might have missed. There we go.
Full screen. You're playing full screen Vimeo.
So this worked with HBO Go, Vimeo, a couple other things that I tried. The quality is noticeably inferior to direct Netflix, direct YouTube, the other places that support it natively, which was kind of a bummer.
And that's largely because this is still in beta.
You think that's true? The Apple TV, my Apple TV uses a wired connection, not a Wi-Fi, and still that direct streaming is kind of hinky and not real good.
Yeah, and even when I was testing this on a wired PC, sending a wired signal to the Wi-Fi signal, it wasn't that great.
Does this work with your older MacBook Air? Did you try it? Does it require the post-Sandy bridge, H.264?
No, it totally works with
it works in software?
It works with 2 years ago, two-year-old MacBook Air.
Okay, so it doesn't require some sort of specific. It's not because AirPlay mirroring only works on machines that are post-Sandy bridge
with the dedicated H.264 encoder on the chip. On the MacBook Air 11-inch though, and we'll show this full screen, there's some gnarly rendering problems with using tab streaming.
For example, hold on, I don't understand.
Now we'll show it on the screen.
You want me to switch over?
But and we'll demo. I mean, this is now what you'll see is it full screen on the MacBook Air. It looks terrible. Text is unreadable.
Yeah.
It looks like there are lines. It looks interlaced vertically. But if we switch it over to something like the 13-inch MacBook Air.
Here's the 13-inch MacBook Air.
None of that interlacing problem. I'm not sure exactly why.
You think it's a resolution problem with that laptop, maybe?
I don't think it's a resolution problem because I had the same resolution on the Yoga. And that was just a Windows PC using Chrome.
That's weird. Yeah, I didn't have any of those because you came into the office and started talking about that problem. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I haven't had any of this.
Only
it works.
Identified on the 11-inch MacBook Air right now.
The problem I had is the lag, not the actual quality. Not
usable as a second screen?
I mean, in fairness, Apple TV and AirPlay is not usable as a second screen either. Like this is a device to get video to your TV, not a device to hook up a TV as a second monitor.
Not even usable as a way to demonstrate PowerPoint presentations because those don't run in browser.
You can run PowerPoint in browser.
You can.
You go to Office Live and download that, and the viewers there.
But you can't run other applications if you want to do something like, what's the Apple version? Keynote.
That stuff is probably, it's probably not going to work for that. You're probably going to plug in a cable. So the one thing I did have to say is that it does support, like Netflix does support native Chromecasting even on the Mac now. I don't know if that's new. I didn't see it before, but it's going to come up with something I'm playing from Netflix right now.
And that's just in the browser.
And that's just in the browser. Yeah. So, like I think for $35, this is a pretty compelling little box.
No, you can't say for $35 because you're also taking up. It's not the $35 cost. It's the taking up an HDMI slot cost.
Well, but something's going to take up that HDMI slot.
Yeah, spend money on a Roku.
Roku's $59, and I think Roku, you can't pipe stuff directly from your phone or tablet to.
I
think this is a much better product than a Roku box. If your goal is to watch Netflix and YouTube. Because there's no YouTube on Roku.
There's no YouTube on Roku.
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to buy something to fill your limited number of HDMI slots, if you have a game console in one or a Blu-ray player in another, and you want something for streaming, the Apple TV is still going to be the best option right now. And regardless, if you just want to mess around with the Chromecast, I'll let you borrow mine for $10 for a week. And
the Apple TV is $100 though. This is $35. I've bought lunches that were more expensive than this. I mean, it's not a smart thing to do.
I'm not using the Chromecast after using it for a couple weeks.
That's a fair point.
It's going in a jar.
I unplugged mine.
It is $35. Yeah, sure, it's fancy lunch, $35 down the hole.
Netflix, YouTube.
If those
I can do both of those things with AirPlay.
If those are the only things you want, and you have good Wi-Fi signal, where you're plugging in your Chromecast, then this might be for you.
Here's the thing I will tell you. There will be an Amazon app for this,
There will be an Amazon app.
Because they like to put everything out.
So wait for the Amazon app, wait for Vimeo app, wait for the Pandora app, and wait for possibly the Ethernet, the wired version.
Well, and in fairness, Google has a pretty good history at this point of launching something, seeing what people use it for and how it works, and then making it much better the second go round. Take in point the Nexus 7.
Yes. If you spend $35, which admittedly is not a lot of money on this, and a year later, half a year later, when all the supports comes out with third-party apps and services, support this, and they might release a Ethernet version, then that's $35 wasted. Because you're going to buy the next version.
But you're still $30 cheaper than the Apple TV.
At this point, the Apple TV is a better way to go.
I think if you want something cheap, get this. If you're the kind of person that doesn't care about video quality, there's a lot of people out there, as evidenced by the first 5 years of YouTube. Like, there are clearly people who don't care that their video quality sucks. In which case, Tabcast away, kids. You're going to get HBO Go on the TV for $35.
Otherwise, there are plenty of other options out there.
True.
The Roku 3, Apple TV.
I think the better option is the Apple TV for $100, especially if you have iOS devices and can do AirPlay.
Absolutely.
So that's it. It's the Chromecast. It's $35. Norm doesn't think it's worth it. I think it's $35.
Well, it is a dongle that's $35.
That
much we can agree on.
We completely agree. We'll see you guys next time.